Hey Valley Metal, welcome back to another G67 math video. Tonight we're on location in my backyard because the kids wanted more video shot on location. So I'm freezing out here. And I'm on take 4 already, so we got to get this thing on take 4 here. Alright, tonight we're going to explore the world of proportional relationships, but let's start as always with our just for fun question. Which of the following U.S. geographical locations does not have a musical group named after it? Is it Chicago, Kansas, Vermont, or Boston? We'll be back with the answer to the trivia after instruction tonight. Officially, our target is I can determine if a relationship is proportional. Let's do this thing. All right, study the chart below to see if the relationship between the number of brake pad boxes sold and the price is proportional. What, Richard? Don't know where to start? Let's come back to this problem after we look at some vocabulary and some examples. So a proportional relationship exists if quantities have a constant ratio. We've talked a lot about ratios, and I think you understand what that means. A non-proportional relationship exists if quantities do not have a constant ratio. Let's take a look at a pretty simple example. Carlotti's Pizzeria in New York sells a single topping pizzas for $8 with free delivery. Determine if the relationship between the number of pizzas sold and the price is proportional. Well, here's some steps I just kind of laid out for you. You generally have to either make or complete a chart, and then find the unit rate, and then determine if they're proportional. So let's just go ahead and start off by completing this chart here. So one pizza, that was $8. So 2 would be 16. 3 would be, come on, here we go. My fingers are numb because I'm outside. I can't even control this. 3 is going to be 24. I'm just going to have to type it in. Slide that guy up there. And 4 would be 32. Is that one going to cooperate? It isn't. 32. It's going to be small, but we'll fit it in. All right. Let's see. Next, find the unit rate or interval for each. Well, if I think about the cost of the pizzas divided by the pizza ordered, 8 divided by 1 is 8. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 24 divided by 3 is 8. And 32 divided by 4 is 8. It's $8 a pizza. It's the same price no matter how many pizzas you order. It's always $8. So this is proportional. It's a proportional order. And, you know, if I were to take and graph it, you'd see that it makes a perfectly straight line. So you're probably wondering, Carlotti's Pizzeria in Newark. That's actually a scene from my favorite Hogan's Heroes episode where they have to make this pizza for Major Bonacelli to try to get him to give some information so they get this pizza recipe from Carlotti's Pizzeria. All right, I'm off track a little bit here, but I'm cold. My brain's not functioning right. All right, let's take a look at have you try an example here. Now, Uptown Pizzeria sells medium pizzas for $7 but charges a $3 delivery fee per order. Is the cost of an order proportional to the number of pizzas ordered? Why don't you try this one? Go ahead and make a chart, find the unit rate for each interval, and then determine if they're proportional. Go ahead. All right. Let's see how you did. Well, if you made a chart, it probably looks something like this. $10 for that first pizza because you have the 7 plus the $3. And then the second pizza, you don't have to pay the $3 anymore, so you just add 7, that'd be 17, and then 24, and then 31 for 4 pizzas. So the question is, can you find the unit rate? Well, sure. Well, 10 divided by 1 is 10. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 31 divided by 4 is $7.75. These are getting cheaper each time. And it kind of makes sense, right? Because you're only paying that delivery once. So if you bought 100 pizzas, that delivery rate would still only be $3. So each pizza will be a little bit cheaper. And you see how the price dropped from $10 to $8.50 down to $8, down to $7.75. Interesting, right? So is this proportional? No, this is not proportional or non-proportional. It's because of that delivery fee of that plus 3. So I just took and graphed this one quickly. And you can see that it starts off in a straight line, right? Because the first pizza is $10. But then these points, it's going to start arcing off this way. They're going to get a little bit less for each one. So it doesn't make a straight line when you graph it either. So this is a non-proportional relationship. Let's take a look at another one, a little more complicated. Or at least it looks like it. You can use this recipe here shown to make a healthier version of a popular beverage. Kool-Aid. Is the amount of mix used proportional to the amount of sugar used? All right, let's see. We have half a cup of sugar, 1 envelope of mix, 2 quarts of water. Secret recipe. All right, well, let's make a chart. Let's do that first. Again, my fingers aren't working too well here in the cold. So I made this chart here. So for half a cup of sugar, I'd need 1 envelope of mix and 2 quarts of water, right? Yep. Okay, so if I did 1 cup of sugar or two packets of mix, I'd need a cup of sugar and 4 quarts of water. If I triple the recipe, I'd need 3 envelopes, a cup and a half, 6 quarts of water. And if I quadrupled it, it'd be 4 packs of mix, 2 cups of sugar, and 8 quarts of water. Well, if I take a look at what they're really asking for here, is the amount of mix proportional to the amount of sugar used? Yeah, that's the wind picking up in the background. You'll see that it is. You got a half divided by 1. Sorry, I'm going to move that guy back. You got a half divided by 1. You've got 1 divided by 2, 1.5 divided by 3, and 2 divided by 4. These all simplify to 0.5 or 1/2. As a matter of fact, you can even look down below and see that if you looked at the envelopes of mix to the quarts of water, you still have that same relationship, that same ratio. So these are proportional. It's always 0.5 or 1/2. And of course, if you graphed them, it looks something like this. It's not a great graph, but it's going to form that straight line. All the points will fall right on that straight line. That's called linear. All right, so if you try one here. We're back to our example here. So study the chart below to see if the relationship between the number of boxes of brake pads sold and the price is proportional. So let me scroll down here a little bit so you can take a look at the full chart. Go ahead, pause the video and see if you can figure it out. Hey, I'm back. Or I should have said, brr, I'm back. All right, well, if you find out the unit rate or the box rate, 1 box, it's $60. 2, it's $55. 3, it's $50. And 4, it's $45. So the price keeps going down. So this is going to be not proportional. And that's because of that quantity discount. And again, if I were to make this make a graph of this, you'd see it wouldn't be in a straight line. Those points would not fall in a straight line. They'd kind of slowly curve off. All right. Time for one more before the ticket to the show. Helen. You look like a Helen. Helen, that's a nice name. Helen works at the diner for $5 an hour. Make a table that will show whether the amount of money she makes is proportional to the number of hours she works, or if it's non-proportional. I think I made a couple of mistakes there, but I think you get the idea. Go ahead, make a chart, find the unit rate for each interval, and determine if they are proportional. Go ahead. All right, let's take a look. All right, well, if I make a chart here, hours worked and the amount of pay. So I've got $5 for 1 hour, so the unit rate there is $5 per hour. Here we've got $10 to pay for 2 hours, so that's $5 an hour. $15, well, that's $5 per hour. $20 for 4 hours, that's $5 per hour. Again, I can't even talk right, I'm so cold. This is non-proportional or proportional? No. This here is proportional. Just checking with you. Just messing with you there. I used that from the last slide. It is proportional, and it's not because of the quantity discount. There is no quantity discount. I just copied that from my last slide. If you look at it, they form a straight line too. 1 hour, $5, 2, 10, 3, 15, and so on. This is a proportional relationship. So when you're doing this, just remember, somehow make or complete a chart and look at the unit rate for each one. My daughter gave me a tip. She said sometimes she got confused if she divided 1 by 5 or 5 by 1. But then Mr. McNeil, shout out to Mr. McNeil, he said, think about it. Are you thinking about the hours per pay or the amount of money or the dollars per hour? Oh, dollars per hour is what you wanted. So she would divide 5 divided by 1, 10 divided by 2. So using that little trick will help you too. All right. Here is your ticket to the show. Shahani babysits for her neighbors. She's a member of the UBA, United Babysitters Association, so she charges based upon the following union rates. $10 for the first hour, $7 for each additional hour. Make a table to determine whether or not the amount she earns is proportional to the number of hours she works. I'm just going to change that to 2, the number of hours she works. All right, go ahead and do that for me. All right, let's get to the trivia question. Which of the following U.S. geographical locations does not have a musical group named after it? Well, let's just scroll down and see. I'm going to shut this off. All right, first of all, Chicago. No. There was a band called Chicago. As a matter of fact, it was originally called the Chicago Transit Authority, which was named after the public transportation system, I believe. And they got in some sort of a battle over whether or not, they were sued by the Chicago Transit Authority. So they dropped the Transit Authority. They just went by Chicago. You probably know a song called 25064. Sorry, freezing, I can't even sing. But that's Chicago. The next one, warning. The following pictures contain excessive hair. Please consult a parent and get a written note by them or your doctor before looking at them. Kansas. Kansas was also a band. Check out the hair. They sang a song called Carry On, Wayward Son, pretty popular. Apparently they spent more time singing and possibly choosing bib overalls than they did cutting their hair. That is a lot of hair. Boston. Boston was also a band. There's a lot of hair there too, but not quite as much. They sang a song called More Than a Feeling. Vermont was not a band. It's a state, as a matter of fact. Looks like my battery's going to die. It's so cold out here too. Vermont is a state. Actually, the word Vermont means green mountains. Kind of translated from French. Vert means green. Mont means mountain. Vermont, green mountains up here in New England. That's it. Hope you enjoyed your on-site video. Sorry about the numb fingers and a couple of little mistakes along the way. Have a great evening. Bye.